Were you home when this incident happened?
Was she home or no?
You're definitely home? Because I don't want to catch you in a lie.
No.
Did you hear a snap? Did you hear a pop?
I'm so afraid. What did you do?
By the head and smashed into the second time.
At 5:30 p.m. on March 14, 2011, staff at St. Luke's Hospital in Jacksonville, Florida were faced with a harrowing situation. 2-year-old David Galarraga arrived at their facility limp and unresponsive. He required immediate and specialized care. But his mother's explanation about what happened left hospital staff with more questions than answers. Were his injuries the result of a terrible accident, or was there a more disturbing story behind David's condition? Police were called as a precaution and began interviewing the family to better understand what happened. Soon, a troubling case filled with lies and half-truths would unfold, one so unfathomable that it would launch a landmark case in Florida's criminal justice system. As the toddler received medical aid, police brought his mother, Bianella Susana, and his elder brother, 12-year-old Christian Fernandez, to the station to dig deeper into what really happened to 2-year-old David. The following footage has mostly never been seen before. Because David and Christian were minors, the police station has made redactions to the footage.
Before I talk to you, I'm just going to go over a few things with you, okay? These are called your constitutional rights. And I know you're 12 years old, right? When's your birthday? Okay, so you turned 12.
13.
Oh, you're 13 now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So you're 13 years old.
I'm 12. And
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're 12. Okay, okay. All right. So I want to explain these to you to where you can understand them.
As investigators chat with Christian, they know his age may prove to be a challenge. Still, because they're questioning him, they read him his rights. In Florida, police can question children without their parents' permission, and they can also do so without contacting their parent or guardian. A child can always refuse to be questioned, which is why the officers are careful to explain what each statement means. If it can be proven later that Christian didn't fully understand his rights, what he reveals in this interview may not be admissible in court.
And I just need you to sign here that you understand them. You have nice cursive. My son's working on his.
While the investigator works on building rapport with Christian, more details from the mother and son's initial interview at the hospital come in. According to police reports, Bianella showed a surprising lack of emotion when doctors explained the gravity of David's injuries at the hospital. Instead, she apparently told police she had been through worse. But once she's brought in for questioning, the reality of the situation appears to hit her a bit harder.
I'm so afraid.
As police questioned Bianella, they soon realized that something might be missing from her story, but nothing would prepare them for the appalling information she was holding back.
So, tell me a little bit about tonight. I understand that, were you home when this incident happened? What time did all this occur?
A little bit after 4.
After 4? Okay. And who was home when this happened?
Everybody was home.
How long after did you know about the incident?
When he called me.
Okay, when he called you? On the phone?
No, in the house.
Okay.
According to Bianella, Christian ran into the room for help after David fell from the top of his bunk bed. When Bianella rushed to his side, she found David unresponsive.
So, when did you immediately run in there?
Mm-hmm.
And what'd you say?
He did, so I and put some ice on stuff.
Okay.
When police took a closer look at the family's 2-bedroom apartment, they found a grisly scene. In the bedroom shared by the 3 eldest children, they discovered a blood stain on the carpet next to a school backpack, along with more blood and vomit throughout the bedroom. Baby wipes and a diaper were found on the bottom bunk bed, along with red stains on blankets, pillows, and the floor. Additional stains were found on the cabinet and shower curtain in the bathroom. David's injuries don't look good, and the more information the police can give the doctors, the better. This means they must rely heavily on the only witness, Christian.
And tonight, you guys were in your room, just you and David? Was your other brother and sister in there?
Mm-hmm.
So all y'all were in
No,
there?
I think it was just me and him too.
Just y'all two?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was your mom doing when this happened?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm driving.
Was she home or no?
I'm not sure where she was.
Tell me a little bit about tonight. I understand that, were you home when this incident happened?
While Bianella originally claimed that she was in the kitchen during David's fall, Christian's version of events didn't even place her in the apartment. He then recalled what happened in the moments after David fell, explaining that he laid his brother on the bottom bunk while he tried to get help.
And I called my mom.
And what'd you tell her?
That he got hit with that ladder climbing up.
However, this is once again a different story, making it unclear what actually happened to David. Initially, Bianella told investigators at the hospital that Christian was flipping through TV channels with David just before the incident occurred. In this brief moment of distraction, David climbed to the top of Christian's 5'2" bunk bed ladder, but the ladder suddenly shifted out of place, causing David to fall to the floor and hit his head.
And then what did she do when she came home?
She cleaned him, and then she went to the hospital. I cleaned him and changed his clothes.
Was she crying?
Mm-hmm.
So what time do you think you called her?
Like almost like 8 minutes after.
And how long did it take her to get home?
A couple of minutes.
In light of this new information, detectives press Bianella to see if she changes her story to match the one Christian is now telling.
And you were home? Okay. You were definitely home? Because I don't want to catch you in a lie. Because there's no reason to lie about something that you don't need to lie about. I'm going to ask you again. Were you home when this occurred?
Well, I had gone to the bank.
Okay. Were you home when this occurred?
No.
Okay. So you weren't in the kitchen when this happened?
No.
Okay. So you screwed up when you said he called me. He called you on the phone. And you were at the bank? Who was with you?
I was by myself.
Sure enough, Bianella backpedals. She had in fact left her 12-year-old son alone and in charge of his 3 siblings. As a single mother of 4 children, she often relied on her eldest Christian to help keep the household running smoothly.
So he called you, and how long did it take you to get home?
I went right away. Okay. I mean, I went to the ATM, and then afterwards I went back home.
When Bianella returned home, she found the same scene she described to investigators earlier, her 2-year-old boy unconscious. But this time, Christian reveals another shocking element that stuns the detectives.
So you said that she got on the computer before she went to the hospital?
No, she was on the phone and the computer.
Okay. You know what she was looking up?
No.
Okay.
Maybe like a hospital to go.
Oh, okay.
So how long were you guys at home before you left to go to the hospital?
About 40 minutes.
40 minutes?
Police are stunned. Instead of calling 911 or rushing her unconscious child to the hospital, Bianella decided to wait it out and see what happened. Once 2-year-old David did arrive at the hospital, his condition was so bleak that he was airlifted to another for specialized care. All it took was one look at David for the medical staff to know something wasn't right about this bunk bed story.
Oh.
I didn't away because after my husband passed away, like they assigned me to a caseworker, and the caseworker comes and monitors everything, right? And I'm like, okay, I already have a caseworker. If they think that I'm doing something bad to one, I have 3 other ones that depend on me, and I don't want them taken away from me.
Bianella was only 11 years old when she became pregnant with Christian. According to court documents, her mother allegedly struggled with substance use. After Christian was born, the 3 reportedly moved in and out of strangers' homes and hotels before settling in a trailer with no electricity or running water. When Christian was just 2, authorities found him wandering naked through a parking lot in the early hours of the morning while his grandmother was supposedly in charge of him. She was charged with child neglect after they found her in a nearby hotel room, allegedly intoxicated. Inside, investigators found cocaine and Christian's baby bottle, which was infested with worms. Bianella and Christian then entered foster care together when she was only 15 years old, and where Christian was allegedly assaulted by 2 boys. Eventually at 18, Bianella married Luis Galarraga Blanco, and together they had 3 children, including David. She'd recently lost her husband, but the police had yet to uncover the sinister circumstances surrounding his untimely death. These family dynamics aside, the present situation was dire. David's life was hanging by a thread, and his mother had chosen to wait rather than seek help for him. Police continue to turn up the heat on Bianella, hopeful that she might slip up.
So when you got home, you saw knocked out, as you said, right? Knocked out in the bed. On the bottom bunk?
On the bottom bed.
Did you see anything knocked over in the room or any blood anywhere?
I saw a little bit of blood on the floor.
Okay. Where at on the floor?
Let's say like the stairs were here, and the blood was like on
okay.
there.
So kind of in front of the stairs. Okay. Did that worry you?
It did worry me, but it worried me more the fact that, they're going to think that I did it.
So you got on the computer? For what?
To check, what causes unconsciousness and how long is somebody supposed to stay unconscious, and if they, if they could just wake up from that.
I just don't understand. I understand you have a problem with DCF. You're thinking that they're going to take your kids away, but I don't understand why you didn't call 911. Safety's first.
I know safety's first, but I read online that unconsciousness happens when your brain shifts from position from a head injury.
Given her 2 recent encounters with Florida's Department of Children and Families, also known as DCF, it was evident that Bianella was already walking on thin ice. Yet the choice to endanger her child's life to avoid another intervention was just plain shocking. Was this truly the only reason, or was there something else hidden beneath all these excuses?
And I was like, okay, it's going to shift back to its right place.
But most people wouldn't even think about going online. They would think about, oh my God, I got to call 911. And then, 911's going to kind of direct you what to do on the phone until rescue gets there.
I came up here with nothing. I rented an apartment and, I have a roof over their head, and I feed them and I take care of them. Very good. Better than if I was with my ex-husband.
Well, let's talk about very good.
When David arrived at the hospital, a head injury wasn't his only injury. His left leg was also set in a blue cast that extended from his hip all the way down to his foot.
In January, broken leg, right? And how did that happen?
According to a January DCF report, Bianella explained she was inside her apartment when Christian came bursting through the front door, holding David in his arms. She said the boys had just been playing together at the apartment playground, right outside her front door.
Oh, I wasn't there. I was inside the house.
Who was there?
All the children. Everybody else was there.
Did they play unsupervised?
Well, I open the window and I look at them.
But you're not watching them.
But I'm not out there.
So you're not watching them. You just have the window open. So if someone screams, you can hear them.
Yeah.
The whole time?
Yeah.
So then if you watched them the whole time, you would see what happened.
Well, I wasn't with my eyes on them the whole time, but
that's what I'm saying. You don't watch them the whole time.
Bianella had said that David broke his leg when he accidentally fell from the monkey bars, but there was one small problem with her story. The apartment playground had no monkey bars. When police go through the DCF reports, they also find several other inconsistencies. First, Bianella tells investigators the story about David's fall from the monkey bars. Then, perhaps to avoid being caught in a lie, she recalled the incident as a fall from the jungle gym. Bianella's sister later told police another story. This one was that 2-year-old David was jumping from swing to swing when he fell and broke his leg. In any case, things aren't looking good for Bianella, and it only got worse when Christian revealed an entirely different version of events.
You said before, in January, he got hurt, right? Mm-hmm. And he had broken his leg, little David. Mm-hmm. And how did he break his leg in January?
By yoga.
Yoga? Mm-hmm. And what room were you guys in?
In our room.
Were y'all watching that on TV or something?
No.
Where'd you see that at?
In a book.
And where?
In a book.
In a book. You still have that book?
No.
Who else was in the room when that happened?
Me and him.
Just y'all two?
Mm-hmm.
Where was your mom at?
I think she was taking my brother to school.
Not only does Christian's story not align with his mother's, but once again, Bianella was nowhere to be found when the injury took place.
And did someone from Department of Children and Families contact you?
To my mom?
Yeah.
And us? Uh-huh.
Yeah. And what did you tell them what happened?
That he fell off my monkey bars.
Christian has once again allegedly lied for his mother. Now the detective has no choice but to confront Bianella about the playground stories and how David actually broke his leg.
But that's not really what happened, is it?
What do you mean?
I'm asking you. I need you to be honest. Because you're only going to hurt yourself in the long run. Okay, that's not what happened, is it? Just like you weren't home today when it happened. That's not what happened, is it?
It was my son.
Mm-hmm. And what did he do?
He said he was wrestling.
In a shocking twist, Bianella now appeared to be blaming Christian for David's grievous injuries. She then explained that initially she wasn't convinced David's leg injury was serious, and at first the detectives let her play that story out, but they know something about the timeline of this injury that Bianella hasn't mentioned yet.
And then I heard, like, when people break bones, they can't stand the pain. They're just screaming and crying from the pain, even when you touch it. So I didn't think that by him being 12, he would be capable of breaking anything because he's a kid.
I mean, anybody can be capable when they're 11, 12 years old. Why did you...
But then I was scared that they were going to take him away. I mean, he's still my son, even though he did that. I thought that by me talking to him and me being on top of him and just, me making him realize what he had done. And I took him to the hospital with me. He was in the hospital with me the whole time watching, the pain that they were going through.
This is what I don't understand about that, though. I understand as a mom, you don't want your son to get in trouble for something that he probably didn't mean to do. Right? Am I right? Okay. I can understand that. I mean, I got 3 kids, but this is what I don't understand about that. You wait 2 days to the hospital.
I didn't think he was capable of breaking anything. I thought it was just swollen.
Oh, the kid was crying.
Police look to Christian to help them fill in the blanks, and what he shared this time changes the trajectory of the case yet again.
He was sitting like this, and then how did you do his legs so we can understand what happened?
Like this.
And then what else did you do with his little legs?
And like this. And that's it.
So you weren't trying to hurt him?
No.
It was an accident?
But I didn't know his bone was going to break.
Yeah, I understand.
Because I was doing 2.
You were doing
But my
it too?
bone didn't break.
Can you do that? Can you do that? That's what you were trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
Can you do it?
No.
So show me again what you do.
Like this.
Okay. Did you hear a snap or something?
Why? What do you mean, like a snap?
Yeah, when he broke his leg. Did you hear it snap?
Like a crack?
Did you hear it pop?
Well, sort of.
Yeah. And what happened then?
He started to cry and then I stopped.
Oh. So how long was it before your mom got home? Do you remember?
A couple, minutes.
As it turns out, David had a remarkably severe injury. One doctor who cared for the 2-year-old said his double fracture was the worst broken bone he'd seen on a toddler.
How long did he cry for her? Long time?
Mm-hmm.
That probably hurt him really bad, huh?
Little did the detectives know, something far worse is right around the corner.
So your son did that in January. You lied. You told him to tell a lie to DCF, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you told him to lie. You lied. You lied to us. You lied to DCF. I'm just trying to, and I understand I understand why you lied in the beginning, because you don't want your son to get in trouble for something he didn't mean to do, I guess, correct? But then you told him to lie, and then you lied and just got all out of hand. And don't you think it'd just been easier just to tell DCF? My son did it. It was an accident?
Because it wasn't easy for me to tell DCF and look where I am now. It's not easy.
Based on conversations with hospital staff, police are extremely skeptical that the first story they are told about David's head injury is the truth. Detectives circled back to the events leading up to the injury as they continued to question Bianella. Once again, her story wavered. But this time the details she changed to leave her toddler's life hanging in the balance. Earlier, she told police she took David to the hospital 40 minutes after making it back home. From there, her estimation of the time it took slowly expands.
And you waited for how long? 40 minutes, you said? Are you sure it was only 40 minutes?
About an hour, but it was about that time.
Okay, because, what time did they get the call?
6.
Okay.
Next, she says it's 1 hour, and then it's closer to 2. It was also eventually revealed that while David was unconscious and fighting for his life, instead of calling 911, Bianella told authorities she called a pediatrician once, but gave up when she was put on hold. Her interrogation ended soon after, but the most damning of evidence was yet to be revealed. Christian was seemingly honest about the events behind David's broken leg, so detectives are hopeful he'll be forthcoming a second time.
Tell me what happened. Okay, you're almost there. Tell me what happened.
By now, it's the early morning hours of March 15th. The police were called out on the evening of March 14th, and Christian's been up the entire night talking to the detective. His exhaustion is evident.
David's not feeling too good right now. Okay? He deserves for you to tell us the truth. It's just time to be honest. Everything's going to be okay. You don't have to be scared. The door's open and we're just sitting here, just me and you. So you don't have to be scared. There's nothing to be scared of. I want to be able to tell everybody that you tell the truth about things. It's okay. I'm not angry with you or mad at you or anything like that. We just need to know the truth.
At this point, the detectives are well aware that Christian comes from a background of violence. In fact, just 3 months before David's leg injury, Christian endured a hellish ordeal involving alleged aggression and violence at the hand of his late stepfather, Luis Galarraga Blanco. According to court documents, in October of 2010, Christian's mother was called to his middle school when staff noticed his face was red and swollen. By the time she arrived, police and DCF investigators were questioning him. He alleged his stepfather punched him in the face. His injuries were so severe that he needed surgery to repair a torn retina. As an ambulance whisked Christian away, a stunned Bianella reportedly called her husband for answers. Luis then took his own life in front of their 3 kids, allegedly when he discovered police were on their way to arrest him for suspected violence against a child. Their daughter, no more than 4 years old at the time, answered the door when police knocked. David was also found in a nearby bedroom, reportedly shaking and covered in blood. Some of Christian's behavior when left alone displays the kind of violence he may have been subjected to.
So tell me what really happened tonight.
I put him to carry books.
You put him to carry books?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what kind of books?
Like the books that we have on our bookshelves.
Are they big books or little books?
Like a bunch of skinny books.
So he was carrying them?
Mm-hmm.
Does he walk good that one cast?
I take pictures with one and normal works with the other.
Okay, so he had books in his arms?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened?
And they fell on him
They fell on him as he was carrying?
as he was carrying them.
Where they fell on him at?
On his head.
How did they fall instead of he was carrying?
Christian changed the story yet again, but detectives still haven't uncovered the horrific truth.
Like this, he was carrying them. Because he doesn't know how to carry away.
Okay. So then what else happened?
And then they fell on him, and then he fell.
Okay. What else happened tonight? Because remember we said, so he had his arms up like this
Mm-hmm.
with the books,
Mm-hmm.
and then the books fell?
Mm-hmm.
And what did you see the books fall on?
On his face and part of his head.
Okay. Well, this side of his head is really injured up with a lot of bruising and swelling.
Mm-hmm.
So, and his nose is really swelled up. So, it had something else happened tonight besides just books falling. So tell me about what else happened at college.
After that happened, I wasn't him anymore.
Okay. So he never fell off the bunk bed?
Mm.
No. Okay. So, he never hit his head on the bed?
No.
Okay. So did you do anything for him to make him hit his head?
What do you mean? Like, I pushed him
Yeah. Did you push him tonight?
to the bed?
No. Did you do anything for his head to hit anything tonight?
Well, we were just carrying books, and then it fell on him.
Right. And what else happened?
And then I took all the books away from him, and then he was sleeping.
Well, he didn't get those head injuries just from books. That's not the truth, Christian, is it? It's okay. I just need to know the truth. I know it's hard to tell the truth because I know you said earlier it's hard to tell the truth. Is that what your mom's going to tell me? That's not what your mom's going to tell me, is it? Okay. He's got really bad head injury. So if you could tell me how he got that, it would be really helpful for him. And for us. And then the truth will be known, and you don't have to worry about hiding that inside anymore. What are you scared of? I'm just scared of telling me. I know, I can see it. Did your mom do something to David?
Mm.
When Christian doesn't budge on his story, the detective tried a different approach, and the results are more shocking than she could have anticipated.
Did you push him down?
No.
What did you hit him with? Did you hit him with something on his head?
No.
So what happened? What happened to the side of his head?
I pushed him against a bookshelf.
Why'd you push him? Are you angry about something?
Yes.
What were you angry about?
Oh, my stepdad did to me.
Oh, what your stepdad did to you? Is that what you said? Why were you angry about that tonight?
Because I was thinking about it.
How many times did you push him into the shelf?
Twice.
How did you want to say this is the shelf? Can you show me with the doll how you pushed him into the shelf?
By his head.
So show me with the doll how you.
Like, push it in.
Oh, okay. So you pushed him with your hand
Mm-hmm.
into the shelf. Is that all that happened tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Though the investigator is saying tonight, they would soon discover that this wasn't quite accurate. David wasn't injured in the evening, as they previously thought. He was actually injured hours earlier, sometime in the morning.
So how did all the blood get everywhere in the room?
Because when I was dragging him to his bed.
So you dragged him to the bed?
Mm-hmm. Well, I actually carried him
Okay. To what bed?
to my brother's bed.
The bottom bunk?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you carried him to the bottom bunk, and where was he bleeding from?
From his nose.
Anywhere else?
Like, his mouth.
His mouth was bleeding?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you call your mom as soon as it happened? Or did you just wait for her to come?
As soon as it happened, I realized what I'd done.
When Bianella returned home that morning, she found David bleeding from both nostrils. After she cleaned his face, she loaded her children into the car. David remained unconscious as she dropped the others off at school. Instead of heading to the hospital, she then returned to her apartment, where David lay unresponsive for the entire day. But this was just the beginning of David's torment. From here, the story takes an even more disturbing turn.
And so you picked him up?
I carried him and I put him in the bed.
How'd you carry him? Did you carry him like this? Or how'd you
Yeah, like normal, like this.
Or you carried him over your shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
You'd probably have blood on your shirt though, if that was that shirt, huh? Because he was bleeding out of his nose? And you carried him over your shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that shirt, was it?
I'm not sure how I carried him. But I know I carried him by my shoulder or like in front of me.
Okay. So you just carried him right away to the bed?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you did?
Like fast. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then after you got him on the bed, what did you do?
I thought about what I did.
After dropping the children at school and returning home, and while David was grievously injured and clinging to life, Bianella casually surfed the internet. At 10:54 a.m., she searched the phrase, "when someone gets knocked out," followed by "how to wake someone from a concussion." By 2:15 p.m., she was looking up "when you're unconscious for hours." In between searches, she added money to her phone plan, searched for screensavers, logged onto YouTube, and downloaded music. Allegedly, she even made time to look up celebrity gossip.
Nobody else touched him or hurt him?
No.
It was just you? Okay. Do you feel better about telling me what happened?
No.
You don't feel better? Was that the truth, what you told me
Mm-hmm.
this time? Yeah. What do you think your mom's going to say? She's just going to be upset for everybody, huh? She'll be upset for you, too.
The investigator asked Christian one last time if he alone hurt David, perhaps in an attempt to resolve any lingering suspicions she may have. And rightly so. Up until now, Bianella hasn't had the greatest track record for honesty, but the detective would soon find the most disturbing details of David's story had yet to be revealed.
Did you know what you did was wrong?
Mm-hmm.
How did you,
I felt bad because then I realized what I actually done. Because I wasn't really thinking about what I was doing when I pushed him. I was just thinking about my stepdad.
okay. And then when you realized what you'd done and you said you felt bad, what did you feel bad about? Because
About what I did and what was going to happen later
to him or to you?
to him. I wasn't worried about me.
You were at some point, though, 'cause that's why you lied, right?
Well, I was a little worried.
Did your mom tell you to say anything different when?
I like to, but she didn't know it was me that did it.
Right.
While there's at least one documented case of such violence that Bianella agrees to, other sources suggest that Christian may have endured his stepfather's alleged violence for as long as 5 years.
Can I ask you a question now?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you push him twice? Why'd you push him 2 times?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know why I pushed him from the start.
Authorities are left to confront Bianella with the awful truth.
This wasn't an accident. Christian did it.
What do you? How did he do it?
He got mad at her and he took her by the head and smacked twice into the bookshelf.
Did he cry
Yeah.
first time? And then you pushed him again?
I didn't stop crying.
And he said the first time he hit it, he was crying, and the second time he did it, out and unconscious. And that's when he carried her to the bed, and that's when he knew that he did something really bad. And he said he lied to you about it. So I know you didn't know. I know you didn't know.
Anything else you want to tell me about tonight? Or is that all I need to tell the doctors?
If he hasn't woken up,
He's still sleeping. His brain started swelling
like bigger or smaller.
bigger.
So it touches his brain.
Yes, I guess when his head hit the shell, it caused some swelling, I think.
Without knowing it, Christian makes an important revelation about his ability to comprehend what's happening. The average 12-year-old would likely understand the concept of swelling, but Christian asked the detective to explain what it means. This request is a potential red flag for Christian being cognitively behind his peers.
And the doctor say if he was gonna make it?
They said that they're hoping that he's gonna wake up.
And if he doesn't wake up, that means that he has to make he didn't make it.
Yeah, if he doesn't wake up, that means he doesn't make it.
But as soon as the detective leaves Christian alone, he says something horrid.
David has to push twice. He got knocked out.
He said he just got mad tonight and he snapped. And now the unthinkable is the outcome of this situation. But I didn't tell him what the doctors told you.
According to hospital staff and police reports, David was only alive because he was on life support requiring a ventilator to breathe. His injuries were both extensive and horrific. His neck rested inside a protective brace, his skull was fractured, and his nose was broken and bloody. His right forearm was injured and possibly fractured. David had swelling and redness in both eyes, with a bruise under his left eye. He had a contusion on his right hip, a hematoma above his right ear, and a bruise on the right side of his forehead. Hopeful that they may squeeze out any more lingering details, detectives encouraged Bianella to talk with Christian. At first, she refused, but they eventually convinced her to see him.
Christian. Hey, buddy. I know you're tired, sweetie. You all right? Your mama wants to talk to you. You okay? A little wobbly? I know it's late, baby. If you could talk English, it'd be better. Okay.
What did you do? Tell me what you did. What did you do? Stop. Tell me what happened.
What the show?
Didn't you think that was gonna hurt? Why would you do something like that? Please, Papa, God.
After Bianella sent her son away, police find one final bombshell to unearth. Bianella's search records show that finally at 3:07 p.m., hours after the head injury, she looked up the hospital where she would later bring David. After she picked her other 3 children up from school, presumably with David in tow, she returned to her apartment once again. David didn't arrive at the hospital until 5:30 p.m., a full 8 hours after his devastating injury. To make matters worse, police were unable to confirm that she was ever at a Wachovia ATM that morning during the incident. Reports indicate no record of any account activity. Overwhelmed by the events of the night, his mother's reaction, and perhaps after fully realizing the consequences of his actions, Christian finally begins to crack. On March 16, 2011, 2 days after his injuries were sustained, doctors made the difficult decision to remove David from life support. His injuries were far too severe for him to ever recover. After conducting an autopsy, it was ruled his death was a homicide caused by blunt force trauma to the head. Even more devastating is the fact that if Bianella sought medical attention for David at the time of the incident, he might still be alive today. Christian was arrested immediately after his questioning.
Time to go, buddy. I need you to stand up. I gotta put these on you. So I gotta put these on you. Come on, stand up, buddy.
Huh?
Stand up for me. Put your hand back behind your back. Turn around that way. There you go. There you go. Back here. All right, come on up. Let's go this way.
In Florida, minors are generally handled in the juvenile system. However, Florida does not have a minimum statutory age for filing charges against a child of any age for a capital offense, meaning those punishable by death or life in prison. Due to this, though Christian was only 12 at the time of the crime, he was charged as an adult, becoming the youngest person in Duval County, Florida to be indicted for first-degree murder. Bianella's arrest followed just 2 weeks later. She pleaded guilty to aggravated manslaughter and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. The judge credited her with the 2 years, 4 months she already served in jail and suspended the rest of the sentence to probation. She was also ordered to spend 90 days in the Hubbard House domestic violence shelter and then 2 years at a halfway house. Christian's case received a lot of public attention, including letters to the judge supporting him. One letter requested that he be tried as a juvenile and included a petition with almost 9,000 signatures from across the world. Eventually, Christian received a plea deal for the lesser charges of aggravated battery and manslaughter. He served 7 years total in a juvenile detention facility and was released on his 19th birthday in 2018. His probation was officially terminated in May of 2023. Following his release, and according to his Instagram, Christian now works at a barber shop.